We literally have acts of terror that are being promulgated from the federal government.
Did you hear that? He called ICE agents terrorists. This happens all the time to American citizens that break the law. But when it's an illegal immigrant, it's an act of terror. When an illegal immigrant does something horrible to an American citizen, we should label them as they're committing acts of terror against citizens of the United States. Yeah. Do you think you'll ever hear him saying that? No.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you all for being here. I'm standing with the full force of government today to demonstrate that Chicago is a welcoming city.
Yep.
Regardless of who's in the White House, Chicago is a city that opens its arms to people from around the globe. We will continue to protect civil and human rights, and we welcome all individuals and families who want to work, live, and thrive here in our beloved city.
Not if you're illegal. It is not a human right to live in a country where you don't have the documentation, you're not legal to be there. Yeah. That is not a human right. Right. And it's not a violation of someone's civil rights if they're here illegally. No.
The Welcoming City Ordinance is a law, and it is the law of the land here in Chicago.
Wait a minute.
We will uphold it.
What are you talking about? They have harboring illegal immigrants. You have an ordinance for that? Well, it is Chicago. These people are just dumb.
Along with the complementary Illinois Trust Act to ensure that our immigrant communities are safe. Furthermore, we intend to continue to empower all of our communities throughout our city with crucial information and resources at this time. On the city's website, chicago.gov, we offer a Know Your Rights resource guide providing all information, tools, and context that our immigrant communities should know. The full force of government from my office, city departments, as well as all of our agencies are in direct communication with businesses, schools, hospitals, houses of worship, and community organizations across the city to ensure that we are responding to our community's needs. I highly encourage everyone to review our Know Your Rights guide and familiarize yourself with the ways that you can protect yourself, your family, and your neighbors.
Man, the only way you can protect yourself is stay inside. Pretend COVID's back. Yeah, but if they have a warrant to come in your residence, you're done. Okay, I don't care how long the rights you list for these people. If they're here illegally, it's not going to prevent them from being deported. It's just going to delay the inevitable. You're going to make it more painful. Yeah, you're giving them hope.
As a city, we are working together to share and spread the crucial information. City leadership and I remain close in our communications. We will continue to work closely with the Chicago Police Department to continue to monitor this situation.
The Chicago Police Department is going to prevent ICE from arresting fugitives in our country? Well, you have murders every day in that city, but they're going to be able to keep illegal immigrants safe from deportation. This is what you call a campaign. He just want to get reelected. That's what it boils down to. He could care less about America, Chicago. He just wants to get reelected. This dude, I mean, it's one thing to gaslight citizens of the United States. Now you're going out of your way to gaslight yourself. Well, he knows he's BS, but you're gaslighting illegal immigrants now.
We stand together firmly in our welcoming city status, as well as our commitment to protecting all residents of the city of Chicago, no matter where you come from or how long you've lived here. Thank you for that, and I'm happy to answer your questions.
Here we go.
Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
You've been invited to speak before Congress. Will you go, and what do you expect to tell them?
I'm going to turn that over to my corporate counsel, Mary Richardson-Laurie.
Good morning, Mary Richardson-Laurie, Corp Counsel. We did receive an invitation from the Oversight Committee, and it is under legal review, so we are...
Feel like a DI hire, right? Hey, he didn't want to put his foot in his mouth, and she's not going to answer the questions. Yeah, he says, okay, I'm ready for questions. First question, I'll have my legal counsel come over and answer this for me. Complete clowns. You wouldn't need legal counsel if you followed the law.
Are not able to respond directly to your question in terms of whether he will go. It is a communication, and we'll be making legal determinations as to the substance of that communication.
Mayor, if we could follow up with you just on that. Would you be inclined to go if your legal representation tells you that you should? And Mayor, I'd love to hear from you if you would.
not gonna change
Mary
anything.
Richardson Laurie Corporation Counsel. I appreciate the question and the interest. It would be premature to talk about going until such time that we properly digested all the legal issues as well as the other substantive aspects of the
words, it's a waste of
communication
time.
from the Oversight Committee.
So you're not even clear right now whether he could be compelled to go?
It's an invitation that we have received. It is not a document that compelled.
By a bunch of woke Democrats.
Excuse me. Alex Capriello with News Nation. We do know that the Trump administration has threatened legal action against sanctuary cities that hold similar to your welcoming city ordinance. So I'm wondering if this was a discussion since President Trump became the president again for a second term, knowing that this sort of invitation might be coming, and how the city of Chicago might have been preparing for this moment.
Well, again, regardless of who's in the White House, we're going to project our values and what working people across this city have asked for. They have asked for investments and opportunities to make sure that they have the ability to afford to live in this beloved city, to make sure that their children
Nobody
can
can
go to a
afford to live
school
in
that's
this city.
within.
It's like the cost of living, the taxes, that place is outrageous. I don't understand why anybody would live there. Yeah, and even though y'all charge like the highest tax rates in the country, like property tax and this and that, it's like y'all still in a budget deficit. Yeah. Your city's broke. Yeah. But you welcome people into your city that is not legal to be here. Yeah. Who does that hurt? The poor people in your city. Yeah. Because they're not living in rich areas. They take away houses from other poor people. Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? If Biden or Kamala was in office, there would be no question he would go speak before Congress. Right. Yeah. Because Trump in there and the borders are here. Yeah. He's scared he going to jail. Yeah, this fool said it don't matter who's in the White House. Yeah. Oh, yes, it do. That's why you got people raiding your city. That's why you got an attorney speaking for you now. That's why you're thinking about going. Yeah.
Within their neighborhood that's fully funded, to have reliable transportation, environmental justice, all the investments that we're making. That's what the people of Chicago are experiencing in my administration. So again, regardless of who's in the White House, it's not going to be a determinant on whether or not we're going to hold up to our values. We are a welcoming city. We're proud of that work, and we'll continue to make sure that we're protecting the interests of all working people in the city.
And a brief follow-up, Mayor. Your reaction to border czar Tom Homan making his presence known here in your city over the weekend and the arrest that happened, and your overall thoughts on this first week of the Trump administration, particularly when it comes to our city.
Well, look, I think what's clear from this administration is that they do not have the full pulse or the breadth of what people in America are calling for. And, he has made...
He won a popular vote. Yeah, and he made what he wanted to do known. It's not like he kept this a big secret. Yeah. He said it's going to be the biggest mass deportation event in history. Yeah. And the country voted, and for the first time in how many years? 15, 20 years, a Republican won the popular vote. Yeah, that's saying something. So I don't know where you getting your fact from. Oh, neither.
It no secret that he wants to dismantle the education department. He's made it very clear that he is not willing to, uphold the very sensibilities of our democracy to make sure that we're protecting the civil rights of individuals. Look, as a former public school teacher, the fact that everything that we won and fought for during Reconstruction, he is trying to roll back the hands of time.
Social studies.
And as I've said, that there's a clear disdain for the fact that the Civil War went in a direction that clearly there are people in this country have not accepted. So we're going to continue to stand up for working people. That's what my mission is. The city of Chicago, we are the heartbeat of America. And we
Bringing back the Confederacy. The Confederacy was Democrats. The North, who beat the Confederacy, became the Republican Party. What do you, man?
will continue to lead the way.
Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
Are you angry, or were you angry or surprised at getting that letter? What was your initial reaction at reading it?
Well, I don't get angry. It's just not my temperament. Sometimes I might, get a little frustrated. But look, my focus is investing in people.
You don't get angry.
That's what the people of Chicago deserve. You see the full force of government on display, here.
Yeah,
We're not going to get
right
sidetracked
in
and
your
allow
city.
anyone to push us to forfeit our humanity. We're not going to surrender that. So I'm focused on investing in people. We have a lot of work that we have to continue to do in Chicago, and I'm grateful that there are many people who understand the importance of that work.
And pivoting a little bit, the White House also put temporary funding, cut temporarily funding to projects across the country, nonprofits, agencies, governments. I'm wondering if you can talk about what could be affected or what you're worried about or watching. In particular, I'm wondering the red line, is that in jeopardy of being on hold or cut at all?
Well, look, it's, again, no secret that this administration has a great deal of disdain for working people. I'm going to pass it to my corporate counsel here.
Why does he say these things?
I had a conversation earlier today with Senator Durbin as well as Senator Duckworth. These are unprecedented attempts, but to attempt to defund childcare or to defund, infrastructure projects, this is something that is well outside the purview of the executive office. These appropriations have been mandated by the legislative branch. These are laws.
Stop. The thing is, if the president and his new administration if he deemed it something it's not worth the money, we're not going to continue to spend money. If you and another thing you said, that this is unprecedented. I mean, Barack Obama, he deported way more people than any other president. This is not unprecedented. And it's okay to say no when you don't want to spend money on something. Like Detroit used to be a vibrant city like Chicago. Yeah. I think in about 10, 15, 20 years, Chicago is going to fall apart. Yeah, because everybody's fleeing that state. Yeah, your state, that city is going to fall apart. It's going to turn into Detroit. The only thing that's going to be left, you see a lot of white people in Detroit, they left. And that's diversity, and now look at it. It's unprecedented crime there.
Laws. We as a country of laws and democracy, we prefer when we have leaders who actually are committed to upholding.
We're a country of laws. Why would you say that? You make absolutely no sense. You're the textbook definition of circular reasoning. Yeah, nothing you say makes sense. Yeah, because you believe in a country of laws. Yeah, but when the federal government enforces our immigration laws, it's terrorism.
That law. Mary, anything else?
Mary Richardson, lawyer again, Corporation Counsel. Appreciate the question. All the EOs and directives are under legal review. We, like every other city, that it will be subject to what has been advanced as a path forward. We'll be analyzing it to see what its impact is on the city, both in terms of our budget, any existing projects and initiatives. So rest assured, we are continuing that review. It's again, I'm going to say I have to be careful about saying.
Yeah, because you potentially could be breaking the law. You know why they got that white guy back there? To make them look more credible. Usually it's a black person standing back there. Yeah, they just said black. Let's get a white guy. Y'all got so much diversity. Let's put a white guy up here and give us some credibility.
more at this time, but we are analyzing it for impact. Thank you for the question.
Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
Do you or any of your colleagues here know the exact number of Chicago residents who have been detained since ICE
Hold it,
and
face
immigration
action.
enforcement began their new operation here on Sunday?
I'm going to turn that to our police superintendent, Larry
Can you
Snelling.
answer any question?
Good morning, everybody.
Another diversity, huh? Well, the city is majority minority, right? People of color. That's why they get elected.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe. Yeah, okay, I take that back. He looks respectable, though, don't he? He looks sharp, though. Look at all them stars on that dude got 4 stars on his car. This dude is respectable, and he probably earned his position. All right.
Superintendent Larry Snelling, Chicago Police Department. What I can tell you right now is that we don't have an exact number of Chicago people who have been detained, but what I can tell you is that the number in the Chicagoland area exceeds 100.
That includes near suburbs as well, the Chicago
Yes,
area? Okay.
yes. So we're looking at the Chicagoland area, so not just Chicago itself, but all of our surrounding suburbs.
And one follow-up perhaps for you, Superintendent. What communication, if any, are you hearing? I know you are not allowed to communicate about people's immigration status with federal officials, but what are you hearing, if anything, from immigration enforcement officials, your officers, your department?
So here, our officers have direct information on how to respond to these things if they're called to it. And as you can see, standing here is the leadership of all of our bureaus. That communication goes out to our officers and the leadership and who's to respond if officers are called to a location that pertains to immigration. As you know, based on the Welcoming City Ordinance, that we're prohibited from engaging with federal agencies when it comes to immigration. So we follow the laws around that. However, there is direct communication. It would be irresponsible of me as the leader of the police department in the city of Chicago not to have some type of communication with these federal agencies to know when they're coming to our city. And with that communication, we do get information as to when they're going to show up. We don't get that information way ahead of time because obviously they're not going to jeopardize their operation.
Yeah, because y'all probably goes, hey, y'all probably have a megaphone go up there saying, La Vega's coming.
At the same time, and rightfully so, I understand that as an agent of law enforcement. So the communication is there, and my focus is to stay in direct contact with them so that we know what's going on at all times in our city.
Mayor, Chris Ty with CBS News Chicago. Good morning.
Good morning. It's good to see you.
Good to see you. Can you give us a little insight into your thinking for the folks who are here illegally with violent criminal pasts, taking them sort of off the radar, off the cost of getting them off the streets? Is there some value? Can you give us some sense? Is there some value for those who meet that criteria? How are you thinking about those people right now?
Well, there's a federal law that clearly states if you are undocumented and you are convicted of a crime, you are subject to deportation. That's the law. I fully expect the federal government to uphold that law. Being a welcoming city just simply states that our local police department will not behave as federal agents. There's a clear separation of powers there. You know, look, every administration, by the way, has deported individuals from our country. Every administration. We know those numbers, right? You know, this documentary that apparently is being worked on right now is just, it's tiresome, quite frankly. Because, look, there's a real goal here to stoke fear.
First he said deportations, what's going on is unprecedented. Then he comes back about 10 minutes later and says all presidents have deported people. It's like this whole interview's just been contradiction after contradiction.
Into the American people, right? He's threatening funding for childcare. He's threatening funding on whether or not we're going to have fully funded education in our country. There are schools that are being closed in Dallas, Texas. There are schools that are being subject to this terror all over the country.
Lying by omission.
His unwillingness to cooperate with mayors across this country who know we need to have more investments in our infrastructure.
You know what's funny?
That's
When
what
they closed down a bunch of black schools in Chicago, but they reopened them, said they didn't have the money, the funding to open those schools for black people. To keep them open. But they reopened these schools and turned them into shelters for illegal immigrants. Yeah. The hypocrisy. Man, this interview is an hour and 12 minutes.
I'm thinking about every day, because that's what the people of America are thinking about. How are they going to put food on their table? No answer from this administration.
No answer from
How are we
Joe
going to
Biden?
ensure, that our communities have affordable homes? There's no answer from this administration. How
How are you going to provide affordable homes in an area where there's a lack of housing and you letting illegal immigrants come in the country? Yeah. There's already a housing shortage for citizens. Right. And you're talking about how the current administration has done nothing for affordable housing. He's just got in a week. He's been, and y'all been giving these people money, flying them out here, giving them debit cards. You don't give the American people that.
We're going to lower the prices of groceries. No answer from this administration. And so,
crazy.
yes, that's tiresome, because there's a whole host of elements in which this administration has threatened. And this idea that somehow, because you put your name on a piece of paper, you deserve an A+, that's not how leadership works. That's why the city of Chicago, we're leading the way to make sure that we are standing up for working people, and we will continue to do that.
Follow-up question. The vast majority of the
Hey, they had so many Walmarts, so many businesses flee this country because they can't even turn a profit. I mean, flee the state of Illinois, Chicago, because they can't turn a profit. Walmart. Y'all have like a food desert in Chicago, especially in the black community. Well, it's too many woke policies, and it's destroying the city. I'm telling you, Chicago is going to turn into Detroit. Yes, NBC Chicago. Let's get the feel. Let's get the sentiment. Let's see what, the typical citizen is thinking and saying right now. Yeah. Look at this. Worst mayor in the history of Chicago. Hey, go ahead and give it another thumbs up. There you go. He's fighting for the non-rights of an illegal alien. He says he stands for all citizens of Chicago except for the ones who want to uphold the law. Let's hope he crosses that line and they make an example out of him. Yep. Let's give that a thumbs up. They have no rights. Thumbs that up. Yeah. Acts of terror, this man has lost it. Wow, you're the terror. Lock him up. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and thumbs that up. Yeah. You need to resign now. I'm going to thumbs that up. This man is full-blown clown. And this is a black guy right here. Yeah. When he goes before Congress, he can explain it to them. Why has anyone on his staff told him his haircut makes him look like he has a pointy head? Illinois, Chicago, I saw horrific things with my own eyes. You let these people in at the expense of the minority communities. You did this. Yeah, they affect more of the black community and other Latinos. Yeah, they affect you guys. I thought the mayor before him was bad. Yeah. What was her name? I don't know. They called her Beetlejuice. I forget her name. But you know what? You deserve that title.